What's up, everybody? It's Dr. Dave Roney, just parked. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm reading a new book by David Rubenstein. It came out last year in 2022. I think there was actually a podcast that he was on with, I want to say, Barry Ritholtz, talking about his new book. David Rubenstein is one of the founders of the Carlyle Group. And basically, it's a series of interviews with people who are sort of famous investors, or like Larry Fink is one of the interviewees. And he sort of catalogs these things and goes over time. He sort of buckets people into different sort of categories, and he tries to hit them all. So he has some traditional folks that's like your fixed income or bond investors. He has like your traditional stock investors, and then real estate, and then he has your alternative folks, right? Like distressed debt, and then he has some new age folks who are like crypto and stuff like that. And I think it's a very interesting concept. A lot of people, there's been some comments I shared on shared on Twitter. The book is sort of a misnomer name. I believe it's called How to Invest. It's sort of a misnomer, right? Like, the reality is, I said this before, you're not going to ever get this nugget of, here's how to invest and do it very, very well. You can get a concept. You can get a little bit of a little sort of point in the right direction on how to do it. And he has some very, very good points in there that honestly you'll get from other books. I just like hearing different perspectives, right? Seeing the commonalities that people who have been very successful as investors in the financial industry, what they did to get to where they are. Those things are important to sort of go through and to look at and to sort of catalog, like, hey, this is where they went wrong. You're going to learn more from people's failures than you will from their success, because you don't really actually know if that success was due to luck or due to skill, right? That's very hard to discern. Failure can be due to just wrong place, wrong time. But you can learn a lot from that, right? Like timing of something or how to look at something. That's very important. And so I think the book is very good from that aspect. I don't like to read personal finance books. This isn't a personal finance book. If you read one personal finance book, you read them freaking all. They don't say anything new, right? This book I like so far. I'm about 40, 50 pages in. And I like it so far because it's just going through these conversations and you start to get an idea of people's mindsets, right? There's a book I was actually given the advice not to read, and then I actually think that was bad advice. It was called Market Wizards. It's on my list of books I want to read, right? Like, basically someone said I'll never be trading, which I don't anticipate ever trading. But, actually, there is a part of me that's just like, I kind of want to know what it's like to trade, right? I don't have enough time, so I probably will never do it. But at some point in my life, I do want to take $5,000, $10,000 and say, you know what? I'm going to trade this. I'm going to make a concerted effort to see how well I do. Now, I don't recommend that for everybody. That's just an itch that I want to scratch one day. But Market Wizards is a book I've heard over and over again, and really I like to hear people's stories. I like to know why they did something. What is their motivation for what they why they ended up in the position that they end up. I do find that there's some people who go into finance because they want to be wealthy. It's very, very not common for those people who go in specifically because they want to make money doing very, very well. It's the people who went in for a different reason into that field, right? They liked the science, the thrill, the thought of making money was more important, or the process of making money is more important than the money itself. Now, the money, don't get me wrong, people made a lot of money. Like, for instance, Warren Buffett always talked about, like, the thing that he enjoyed was the process of compounding and figuring out how well he can play the game, and he wanted to be the best at that game. And a lot of people need to understand that that's sort of what you gather for some of these books. Now, there are books that are very prescriptive, that how I will teach you to be rich, or things of that sort. by Ramit Sethi is a very good book. But basically, it's a checklist of here's a plan to follow if you can't figure this out. But the whole thing is like automate your savings and investments, spend and enjoy your life. That's the concept of the book right then and there. Automating your investments, automating your savings. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing. If you know how to use a computer, you can figure it out. If you know how to go to Google, you can figure it out. But that is the concept, right? Dave Ramsey, his concept is all debt is bad. Pay your debt off before you invest. Make an emergency fund. Avoid debt as all possible. Susie Orman, along the same lines. Like every personal finance book is literally the exact same. I like reading the investment books because it talks about people's careers, talks about different aspects. Additionally, I like reading these investment sort of papers. A good one is Meb Faber's paper on trend following, right? That's the most downloaded paper on all of SSRN. If you don't know what SSRN, type in SSRN in your Google like sort of search bar, or ssrn.org, I believe it is, or .com, one or two. But basically, it's a repository, and a lot of these financial papers end up there, and you can get a lot of sort of deep dive, nitty gritty, down to the details, like aspects of investing. And I get to really look at that and really discern for my own and really interpret these academic papers, because this is where a lot of ideas come from, and you can really do a deep dive. Everybody else doesn't need to do that sometimes, but I like to know the details so that I understand things and I can make a decision for myself. Anyway, it's Sunday. This is the 7th day, and I've been good about making videos every day since I am not writing, and I don't have the time to write these days to put on my Substack. So I talk about it here on YouTube, and I share the first portion of the video to Twitter. I hope everybody's doing well. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to do this for 31 straight days because I want to build a habit and get in the sort of the mode that I need to do this daily. And the videos will be hopefully between 5 and 8 minutes, because nobody got time for that. That's just reality. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Talk to you later. Peace.